Hello guys, it is Ben back with another video. Today I'm going to be breaking down one of my student sales calls. So his name's Jed. He works for a B2C offer that sells WAS, which is website as a design service. So again, it's kind of similar to like SaaS, marketing agencies, all of this kind of jazz. Not something that I don't know a lot about, but again, you don't really need to know a lot about what you're selling. As long as you know how to sell, you'll be able to sell it. But yeah, in this video, I'm going to break down the call from the beginning all the way to the end, the good things, the bad things, what I would change, and yeah, all the feedback that I'm going to give Jed as his coach. So yeah, let's dive right in and and get cracking.
So yeah, I guess first things first, what was the main motivation behind booking?
Okay, so cool. First thing, really good job. No bullshit, straight in. Asked him how he was, which is fine. Again, you want to lower a bit of sales resistance. You don't want to just come in straight away salesy, like bang, let's just go straight in. You know, you still want to ask them how their day's been, but in the same breath, you don't want to do too much small talk. You never want to ask someone what the weather's like, where they are, nothing like that. You need to keep your authority. Jed's done that really, really nicely. He's then set the frame for the call. He's told this person, this prospect, right, this is how the call's going to go. And yeah, now he's going to dive right into the current situation.
Booking the call in today.
I've already booked a call. I've already been looking into this for a while. I guess I just saw like I was just free today, so I just booked a call today.
Sure, makes sense.
Not a very good answer. So let's see what Jed does here.
And I guess like what's behind like wanting to book a call in the first place? Yeah, like what was the sort of reason that you wanted to obviously book the call in anyway?
I wanted to get like a better insight of what it is. Like I watch Armando's videos and like what he does, but I wanted to like get a better understanding of how he does it and like just a better insight of what is the whole process of what WAS is.
Sure, makes sense, man. And do you have like a goal in mind that you're maybe looking to try to achieve by doing something like WAS?
Yeah, I was hoping to at least make like 5,000 a month, but not only just making the money, I want to like know the ins and outs of like the strategies and just like the steps to get to like that more into it, you know.
Yeah.
Agencies.
Yeah. Okay, that makes sense. And I guess with obviously making that 5,000 a month, is that to do like alongside your main job, or if you also want to go into WAS like potentially full time and stop the sort of job you're doing right now?
Most definitely full time.
Full time. So sort of like you want to be earning that amount, and obviously moving away from your job at the moment is a sort of goal. Cool.
Right. Okay. So what I teach, what you want from the start of a sales call is you want an overarching goal. You want a North Star, something that people are aiming towards. Right. And here, the first thing he said is he just wants more information. Terrible answer. Right. We need to find out more about that. That's such a shit answer to give. Right. It doesn't tell us anything about him. Jed's then gone and asked him, okay, now what's like the goal here? Like, why are you here? What do you want to achieve? Right. He's then said he wants 5K a month. But again, money is money. Like no one wants to make less money. Right. We want to find out a specific goal to this guy, RJ, right? We need to figure out what is RJ's goal specifically, which is why Jed asked again. And he was like, okay, so 5K a month. One thing Jed needs to improve there is he's assumed, right? You never want to assume on a sales call. He's assumed, he's gone, okay, so you're making the 5K because you want to replace the job, right? What I would have done differently there is I would have said, yeah, look, man, you're not here to make less money, right? And making that extra 5K a month, like what's that actually going to change for you though? Like money aside. And then he's going to give like an actual goal. Oh, that 5K a month is going to allow me to actually quit my job if I can do that. Right. And now we know what his North Star is. His North Star is, right, he wants to be able to quit his job. Or maybe he's going to say something like, well, at that point, I can quit my job and then I can spend more time with my family. And at that point, we know, okay, this guy has an overarching goal. We can now go straight into finding out what he does for work and how long he's been doing it. So yeah, small improvement there for Jed is he's assumed. But other than that, everything's looking good. This prospect, you can already tell there's a few red flags with him already, the way that he's answering questions. But we'll see how Jed does.
Chili's.
Okay. How long have you done that for?
I've been there for about 3 years, since I was like 16.
3 years. So you're 19 now?
Yeah.
3 years. Okay. And do you enjoy it?
Yeah, I mean, I like talking to people. I mean, there's some people that are pain in the butts, but like other than that, I do like the interactions and getting to know people on their dates, just different people.
Sure. And I guess like I'm curious, why not stick out with Chili's if it's you enjoy it and everything like that? Why look into something like WAS?
Because there's staying there for so long, I've kept trying to like maximize my profits because as a server, you make your own money. You can make as much as you really. It just depends on how good you are. I've realized it doesn't really matter. There really is a cap on it still, no matter what. There kind of still is a cap, like on how much you can make as a server. And I just don't like the whole idea of a cap because I know that I can do more, and I just don't like the cap of a certain like jobs in general. There's only
Right. So the reason Jed asked that question, just to clarify, is because people are on sales calls because they want a problem solved in their life. Something isn't right, right? They want something fixed. They want to improve their life in some sort of way. So when you ask someone, so what are you doing for work? Do you enjoy it? And they're saying, yeah, no, it's pretty good. Like I can't, I enjoy what I do. I got a good team, blah, 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 blah. At that point, it's like, okay, so if everything's so good, like why are we on this call? And Jed's done really nicely there. He's unsold him. He's stepped back. He's gone, okay, well, look, if I'm curious, like if things are going so well, like why are you even looking to do WAS? Why not just continue with your job? At that basically you lean out, they're then going to lean in and they're going to say, oh no, it's good, but this, and this is what I want to change about it. And he's now told us that he feels like he's capped. Now, what I would do here is I would push in on that and be like, well, what do you mean you're capped? Right. And really get him to explain to me why being capped is a bad thing and what that actually is for him. Right. And then we can then really push in and understand his pain and why he actually wants to start WAS in the first place.
You can make, and you already know how much you're going to make if you be there for so and so long.
Yeah. Okay, I got you. And is that like lack of like financial potential? Has that been there the whole 3 times that you've worked there, or more specifically recently?
Well, recently, probably recently, because I just bought a property and I just had a kid and stuff. So bills are definitely tight now than before.
Wow, 19 years old having a kid. Okay, this call's getting more interesting as it goes on.
But I think that's it.
Yeah, makes sense. And obviously, in terms of sort of your like finances at the minute, are you like how much do you roughly make per month from this job?
Well, I started reselling like a year ago, like AirPods and stuff. So I have like a few side hustles and like car detailing that I do. So
yeah, maybe one bit like combined, like how much like with everything combined do you think per month roughly?
I want to say like 5,000 still, probably like 4.
Sure, like between 4 to 5, and then
4 to 5, yeah. Probably very low month, probably 3. Definitely 3.
Yeah, I got you, man. And are you a saver? Are you a spender?
Definitely a saver. I save a lot of money.
Yeah. Okay. And I know you said obviously you've just sort of bought a property, but have you got like sort of money set aside to be able to like invest in yourself in something like WAS?
Mm-hmm. I think yeah.
You have?
Yeah, I have the financial things for the best of WAS. Yeah.
Yeah. Cool. Makes sense. I mean, how much like roughly have you got set aside for yourself?
I'm probably 1,000 for this WAS thing.
So Jed's just financially qualifying here. So depending on your offer, depending on how good the setter's doing, you might have to qualify your leads yourself as well on the call. So yeah, this guy not super financially qualified, which is kind of annoying for Jed, but he's still got enough money to potentially do like a monthly split payment or things like that. And a lot of the time people lie about how much money they have anyway. There's financing options, etc., etc. So there's ways around it. But if you're wondering why Jed's asking that, it's because again, he just wants to find out, is this guy dead broke? And if he is, then there's no point in him carrying on with this call. So that's why he's doing that. But I really, really hope that Jed now dives back into the pain. Right? If I was him, I wouldn't have done this early. I would have gone through the pain and really understand that, dive into that, keep the intensity of that high on the call, right? And then I would have potentially financially qualified him. But again, that depends on lots of different things.
Cool. Makes sense. And with like your situation at the moment then, so obviously you're making that 4,000 to 5,000, obviously you've got a bit saved, like are you able to save much at the moment, or you have to spend on like childcare, like things like that? I don't know how your sort of financial situation is.
My situation right now, the property I bought, the people had left it like vacant. They didn't want it. They left all their stuff, and so basically I bought the house and I have to clean up all of their shit. Everything needs remodeling. So it's gonna be a project. I'm not living there right now. I still go there on my free times, and then me and my friends we go eat it up as much as we can. A lot of my money is going to the house, putting in carpets, tiles, new windows. Just a bunch of stuff in that house that needs a lot of fixing.
Yeah, makes sense. And do you have like time to be able to like actually commit to something like WAS? I mean, I obviously you work and you've got a kid and you're doing this house stuff. Like, if you've got time set aside that you could learn and obviously implement it.
I think that's why I want to do WAS, because I spend a lot of time trying to figure out side hustles that I can do that are tangible, like car detailing yard work, reselling AirPods, doing side jobs on Facebook. Literally, I do as much as I possibly can, but that takes away all my time to do stuff like this, WAS and stuff. But I would put all my time into this and like cut off all the side stuff so it can be more so
that you could go all in. Yeah, makes sense, man. Okay, and obviously in terms of like where you're at the moment, like appreciate obviously you got quite a few things going on, like the house, job. Why not? And obviously these other side hustles, like why not just like double down on all of them and put all your time and effort into all of those to financially and obviously your time. Why not do that? Like why are you even looking at like another thing to sort of add?
If I'm gonna be
I like this question. Probably could be reworded a little bit and delivered a bit better. But yeah, again, Jed's right, because it's like, okay, this guy's looking at all these different things. He's got his AirPod selling, his car detailing, his Chili's job, like all of these different things. It's like, okay, mate, well, why are we looking to add something to the table? Jed's completely right in asking this, because it's like, this will get him to now tell us that these things probably aren't going so well for him. So he needs to start putting time and attention into something that's going to be more sustainable, like WAS, right? That is ideally what that question should get. Like, that's the answer we should get from that question that Jed's asked there. But yeah, so far I feel like we probably should have dug into pain more. I'm sure Jed's going to go back into that, into his current situation, and what's the real problem with Chili's and why he actually wants to make a change. And I would have done the whole financially qualifying a little bit later. But yeah, it's okay so far.
To be honest, I think it's because I don't really trust anything that I do, and like it's gonna be like I don't believe that I could stick to it forever. I think that it's gonna die eventually, and I have to go to something else. So I feel like if I have as many things that I possibly know, if one dies, I have this one I can go to. If this one doesn't work out, I can do that. Or just I don't know. I guess I just don't trust one singular process. I guess that's what it is.
Okay, makes sense. And I guess you feel like you're in a position now where you want to obviously make a change to.
I mean, I wouldn't agree with that, to be honest. I'd say to the prospect, look, do you mind if I share a perspective on that? If you go half-assed on 5, 6, 7 different things, then you're never going to get incredible results with one. If you put 10% effort into 10 different things, you're probably not going to achieve any results with any of them, right? The best thing you can do is go all in on one thing, focus on that, and then get results from that. Would you agree with that as a method, right? And get him to realize that he needs to stop dedicating time into one thing. It doesn't matter if it's WAS, it doesn't matter if it's working at Chili's, it doesn't matter if it's selling AirPods, right? Commitment is the only thing that's going to get him to his goal. So we need to get him to realize that. And at the moment, that's still not clear. He hasn't realized that yet. So we need to begin to reframe the way that he actually thinks about this, which Jed hasn't done so far.
You start working towards your goals of, leaving your job and sort of making 5K a month. You feel like you're in like the time now is the right. Yeah. Okay. And talk to me more about sort of your job at the moment, because I know like a lot of people, particularly your age, will stay in a job, like especially if they enjoy it. Appreciate obviously, your it's like a cap potential, but a lot of people don't look outside, of like a 9 to 5. So I guess I'm curious as to, is there anything in particular that, apart from like the spending, the limited earnings at this job, that makes you not want to carry on doing it and like progress through that path?
It's a good question. Again, delivery could do with a bit of work. There's a bit of mumbling and fumbling and things like that. The question that I love to ask people when they're kind of giving me vague answers like this is, I really want to understand, like, what is it specifically about your job at Chili's that makes you not want to do it longer term and potentially look into something like WAS? And then they're really going to tell us specifically, okay, what is it about this job? Like, Jed's done what most closers wouldn't. Most closers would just take the fact that it's financially capped, take that and move on. That's not a good enough answer. You need to push in more. You need to get more of an understanding of why he wants to leave the job. Because again, if the more pain we can get from the prospect, as bad as it sounds, the more we're going to get him to understand his situation to then actually make a change for the better. So Jed's done the right thing in diving back in, and it's the right idea for the question. Delivery just needs a little bit of work.
Sorry, what was the question? I'm sorry.
Okay, man. Is there like a reason that you...
And then there we go. Delivery wasn't great. He didn't really understand it.
You sort of don't want to like progress in like the 9 to 5 world? Because a lot of people, your age will sort of stick it out.
Yeah, I know what you mean. I think because all my friends do 9 to 5s and friends go to college, and I feel like my parents went to college and stuff. I just see how it all plays out. My parents worked their butt off to get to where they're at, and they're still working their butt off, and they're like 40 still. And I just don't like that whole concept, because I just don't like people my age going on the internet doing stuff like this, making lots of money, pretty easy. I just don't want to be wasting time when in my time right now that there's things like this that I could be investing in instead of just being stupid, I guess.
So you feel like you want to sort of like make that change like now, like before time sort of gets away from you.
Yeah, I think of like what was it like when Bitcoin blew up and stuff, and I think about what my parents were doing. I'm like, I could be like in a few years there's going to be like a Bitcoin, and I don't want it to be like 10 years from now and they talk about, oh, if you would have invested in this, you could be a millionaire or something. I don't want to be that person. Like, yeah, I was sitting in my room doing nothing, or didn't take action, or just solely just believed in myself and trusted nobody. I don't want to do that.
Is that sort of hence why you've like got the reselling and like the other bits sort of got through things? Okay. So what else do you do? So obviously the reselling, you're buying the
right. Okay. So the problem here is RJ, the guy, he is talking too much about future things. He's talking about what he wants. He's talking about how there's a future Bitcoin. He doesn't want to kind of waste time away, and he wants to kind of achieve these goals. But he's talking about the future. What we don't understand yet is why this right now. Like, what's so bad about right now? What's so bad about this job? What's so bad about the situation now? Right? We don't have that. He hasn't told us that. So what we need to probe into a few things that he's saying. So, when he says he feels like he's wasting time, what I would have done there is gone, so what makes you feel like do you feel like you're wasting time now then? He's like, I don't want to feel like I'm wasting time when I get older. Okay, so do you feel like you're wasting time now then? And then he might say, yeah, because, I do feel like I'm wasting time because I'm this, this, and this. And then we can push into that. Then we can start probing. Then we can really start uncovering the pain of like, what is so bad about this current situation that's going to actually make him then want to make a change? Because at the moment, we don't have that, right? So we need to understand that more. And it might be a case of going back in and just being like, look, RJ, like, you haven't really told me much about what's, about your situation now. From what you're telling me, you've got a job that you like, you work with people that you like, you make okay money, and you've got these other side businesses. Like, I really need to understand, like, what is it specifically about this job that actually makes you not want to do it long term? Because if I don't understand that, then I'm not going to be able to help you bridge the gap to your goals and help you get to, North Star, whatever that is, right? We don't understand the pain yet, right? So Jed hasn't really uncovered that. So that's definitely something that we need to work on, because I feel like now he's going to move into the next part of the call. So yeah, we haven't got enough pain there. Granted, he's quite a stubborn prospect. He's not really giving us the answers that we want. But yeah, any kind of sort of pattern interrupt here would be great. Even something else would be, look, RJ, let's just take a second here. Right, most people we work with, right, they have a burning desire to want to make a change, right? They have their goals. They have a very strong why behind why they want to do this, why they want to achieve 5-10K a month, whatever it is. I spoke with John a few days ago, and he was telling me that he wakes up every day and feels like he doesn't want to go to work anymore, and that's his real why behind not wanting to do this. So I really need to understand, like, what is your why? Like, what's going to be the thing that actually pushes you on to get really good results with this? What is it about this situation that makes you want to change? Pattern interrupt. He's then going to give us a better answer. He's then going to start associating more pain with better results. Because I've told him the guys who do well, the guys who get good results, they have a strong why. They have a real desire, a real reason to why they want to make a change. In his head, he's then going to start attaching, okay, if I have a strong desire for a change, if I have a reason why my current situation is bad, that is then going to lead me to get good results, because that's what happened with the other people. That's how prospects think, right? So just any kind of pattern interrupt here to get more of a reason as to why he wants to change, more pain is what Jed needs to do. But I don't think just kicked the camera, but I don't think he does that. So let's see where we go from here.
Property. Is there anything else you do, or is it just those two? And obviously you're 9 to 5.
Yeah, just those two, and then I do like art detailing, like my family.
Okay, got you. And obviously most of those things are kind of a bit more like physical, I guess. Like details, like in person, and everything. Is there like a reason that you maybe have like slowed down and not started something online yet, or?
Yeah. I guess when it comes to online, I'm a little like nervous. I don't know why when it's online, but like I don't know what it is. I guess I'm a little shy when it comes to the internet. I don't know how to do it.
Is there a little bit of like fear there because you can't see it in person, would you say?
Yeah, definitely. I can't really see it, so I don't really.
Again, the one thing you never want to do on a sales call is assume, and Jed's assumed there. He's told him, he's put words in his mouth, which you never, ever want to do on a sales call. What I would have done there is just probed in on nervous or scared. Like, okay, when you say you're nervous or scared, like, what do you mean by that? And then he's then going to explain, because Jed's put words in his mouth, which isn't what you want to do.
No, I don't really trust it, genuinely.
That makes sense.
Okay, and when you say you don't trust it, like, what do you mean? Like, what don't you trust? Put it back on him. Get him to explain himself.
So I guess, is there like a way that you feel like we can get over this way of that fear? Because if you think about like everything in life, right, you don't know if it's going to work or if you're going to like it without actually trying it. Like sports, hobbies, food. The only way you know it's going to work or you like it is by actually trying it, right? And it's the same thing with these online business models. The only way you're going to know if it's going to work or you're going to like it is by giving it a go. So would you agree with that?
Yeah.
So do you feel like by like being a bit fearful, can you see how it kind of like holds you back from?
Oh yeah, because I've already booked an appointment for like this call and I've bailed on it once already. I don't know. I just had to. I think I do. That's definitely holding me back.
Yeah. How are we going to like sort of overcome this? Like, do you feel like you need to give something a go, or?
Definitely, yeah, because I don't have any confidence when it comes to online. I haven't done anything to build myself, anything to do that. So yeah, definitely I have to get myself out there to build something.
No, that's really good, because a lot of people like I speak to, like, they just let that fear hold them back, and they wonder why in 6 months' time they've made no progress. That's the thing. I mean, I've gone through a lot of different programs myself to invest in myself, and you're obviously going to be scared, right? But taking that first step, like being on this call today, is that first step, right? So well done for that. And I mean, I guess obviously with that in mind, like, is there anything you like particularly look for?
Okay, right. Lots of things going through my head there. So I understand what Jed's doing here, and this is what I like to call the accountability part of the call, which in my opinion is one of the most important parts of the call. Now, Jed did this. I'd give this a 6 out of 10. I give it a 6 out of 10. And the few things that need to be improved. Firstly, conviction. You could probably tell by the way Jed's speaking, he doesn't sound very convincing. He doesn't sound like he's very sure of himself. He's over-explaining. He's almost not convinced with his own words of what he's saying. Right. What Jed needs to do here is firstly probe in on what the guy's saying. When you say you're nervous, when you're scared, like, what do you mean? Like, what are you specifically scared of? Get him to tell you, I'm scared of being scammed. Okay, look, I understand that. And look, it's hard to know. There's lots of different people online selling you this, that, and the other. It's hard to know. I appreciate that. Do you mind if I share a perspective on that, though? Do you see how you being fearful of being scammed is the exact same reason why you're still in the same position, working at Chili's, feeling XYZ pain point, and haven't achieved your goals? Do you see how that works? Yes, I do. Okay. So, because look, like, what happens if you just continue being skeptical, continue being fearful about online scams? Like, are you ever going to get to your goal? No, I'm not. Okay, so how are we going to overcome this way of thinking so that we can achieve 5K a month once and for all and set this business up and allow you to spend more time with your kid at home? I need to commit. I need to do something. But why now, though? Okay, that is what Jed should have done. But he did it, but he did it kind of, it was a bit soft. He was being a bit of a pussy, if we're being honest, right? And don't hate on me, Jed. But he's being a bit of a pussy, right? He hasn't really done that. The prospects admitted that the fear is the thing that's holding him back, which is actually really, really good. And that's one of the reasons why I gave it a 6 out of 10, because as long as your prospect takes accountability, which this guy did, which is really, really good, but Jed could have done more with it. He took accountability, but like, not really. There's not really, like, we don't have a commitment after. He doesn't understand that that's the reason why he's still in the same position. Like, there's lots of bits of that, lots of things that are missing from the accountability phase there, but it's okay. It definitely needs improvement, but it's not bad. It's not bad at all. And yeah, I mean, Jed's still, look, this is Jed's like second full month closing. So he's making good improvements. But yeah, that's what needs to be improved there, is we need to really have more conviction, and we really need to dive in more and get him to realize that his fear of being scammed is the exact same reason as to why he's still in the same position and he hasn't achieved the goals that he wants to achieve, because that is a fact. That's the truth.
Or you would be particularly looking for in like a program that is going to help you get from where you are now, not satisfied like with the job you're in, to a point where you're in a better position? Like, is there anything in particular, maybe like mentorship, like one-on-one coaching, like videos, is there anything that would help you?
Definitely mentoring, coaching, just simple like advice. Just keep trying. Not just like necessarily answers what to do. Just like, I don't know. I guess, yeah, definitely
Mentorship. And why is that like sort of important to you, do you think?
because
It's a bit weak from Jed here. Why is that important to you though? Why is that important to you? Like it's a bit soft. Jed's being a bit soft the past sort of 5 minutes. And he's definitely going to watch this, but yeah, he needs to have a bit more energy, a bit more conviction. Okay. And why is that important to you though? And you mentioned the one-on-one support, like having someone you can ask questions to, like, why is that important to you? Would you say, like, be more curious, like really, you want to know more about this prospect, like show that in your tonality, show that in the way you ask questions.
I learn from others. I try to learn the best I can from others. So I soak in a lot. I'm not very ignorant, so I'll listen to what other people have to say, even if I don't like them.
You feel like that's how you sort of like learn best?
Yes.
Cool, makes sense. And I mean, how much would you need to be earning from WAS to then leave your full-time job?
Honestly, just as much as I'm making, like 5,000 now.
5,000. And would you like do everything else, or you just leave the full-time job and do all the little side hustles?
I'd probably leave all of it and just spend time with my family and pick my house up.
Do you not get to spend as much time with your family at the moment?
I do, but just not as.
Good question, but we should have done this 10 minutes ago when we were in the pain. Because now we're going into future pace. Part of the call is what we call it, where we're really talking about the goals and what they want to achieve. So we should have done this earlier on. We should have got this pain earlier on. But yeah, it's still a good question.
As much as I'd like to. I work and stuff like that.
Yeah, and I guess obviously that's something you want to change and be able to spend more time with them.
I think that's where it is too, is because I'm over here spending so much time trying to get money doing this and this and that. I feel like I'm doing that for the rest of my life, and then my kids growing up, and then I'm going to be that parent that just grinding all the time, never spending their time with their kids. When I don't want to do that. I just see the whole process. My dad, I don't want to do that. You know what I
mean? So you feel like
this is great. This is good. This is good answers. But if we had got these a bit sooner on, a bit earlier in the call, we could have really probed into them and understood and really seen the kind of impact that that's having for this guy. It's like, okay, you feel like you're grinding and not spending time with your family. Like, how long have you felt that way for? Oh, Ben, I felt it. Or Jed, I felt this way for like 3 years. Wow, okay. And what kind of impact is that having on you and your family, would you say? Well, it's having an impact. I don't get to see my wife. I don't get to see my child. I feel like, I'm not the father that I want to be, et cetera, et cetera. Like, that's the kind of answers that we want, but we're not getting that. We didn't get those earlier. And now it's coming up at the sort of wrong time. Not the wrong time, because it's better to have them than not. But if we had it earlier, we keep we keep our framework consistent, right? Because if Jed starts doing that now, the framework goes out the window. So yeah, he should have done this earlier on, and we could have probed in onto that. But I don't think he's going to, because again, this is future pace where we're talking about the goals.
You want to make change into something where you can, it's like less physical and you can build it passively, and you want to make that change, sooner rather than later, right? Cool, makes sense. And if you were, so we're going to get you that 5,000 a month. Like, having that goal is very achievable, and it's always good to have a minimum to aim for, so that you can then step away from that full-time job, be able to spend more time with your family, right? But if we aim for the minimum, we're going to get for the minimum. So is there like a bigger goal in mind, like a tangible figure that if you were making that consistently each month, you'd kind of think like, wow, like I've made it, sort of thing?
Like, you're asking if would I have a bigger goal after that?
Do you have a bigger goal in mind now that, like, if you made that consistently each month, you'd feel like you've made it?
I guess my goal would be trying to just scale it more, but help people around me trying to get into WAS too. Like my friends, I want to be one of my friends because he's a slave at college, and I think he deserves better than that. Like, there's just things like that to help the people around me.
Sure. No, it's like really admirable of you.
So the reason why Jed asked that is because the guy was like, right, okay, 5K a month, I'll be able to quit my job. But if they're just aiming for what they're making already, then that's kind of like the minimum. So Jed said, look, if you aim for the minimum, that's what you're going to get, which is true, right? We want to aim for a bigger goal, which again is going to build the gap between where RJ is and where his goals are, right? So that's why Jed's asked that question. We didn't really get the answer that we wanted, right? So if I was Jed, I would probe back into this and be like, okay, but in terms of like a figure, like what amount of money would you need to be making from this business that's actually going to make a real difference for you? That's what I would say. I wouldn't say that would make you feel like you've made it, because that sounds a bit too salesy for my liking. So I would say that's going to make a real difference to you. Oh, but yeah, Ben, 5K would be amazing, so I could quit the job. But if I can make 10K a month, like that would be incredible if I could get there. Okay, and you're making 10K a month, like at that point, how would you say things would be? How would you say things would be different for you at that point compared to how they are now? That is what I would do if I was Jed.
So I want to do that. I guess so. In terms of like that bigger picture, like if you were at a point and you were making say 20K a month consistently, you know, like how does life look different for you if that was like a reality consistently every month?
Life would feel very different, but I really would want to help people. I think that's my goal. If I ever do, once I do make it, my goal is to help people. Like just when I'm at the top or whatever, I just want to sit there and just help as many people as I want. Because I'm a God of man. I'm a man of God. So like that's all God wants is just to share the word, just help people around me. And that's definitely look at life way differently.
Do you feel like you'll be able to like help out people a lot more if you'd sort of made that? Yeah, I hear that. And like if you were able to do that and help more people, you know, through businesses or giving time back to them, creating memories, like if you did achieve that and you were able to do that freely, like how would that make you feel if you achieved that?
I feel pretty good about everything myself, just the situation, and probably more confident in online thing. If I was doing that, I'd probably be trying out way more things, probably different than last, but just trying more out, you know, trying to get more out there.
Sure. So I guess, you know, if you were able to sort of do that, would you say that feeling like in that goal be sort of the top of the mountain for now, being able to help people, you know, being successful yourself?
To be honest, yeah, that is like the top end. That is helping people is like the best feeling to me.
Nice, man. And you know, look, obviously we're going to try and.
Okay, so for me, this is a bit too surface level for my liking. Like the whole point of the Future Pace is to get him to really sit in the feeling of achieving his goals. And I think we've got that partially, but I want to uncover more. Like, what's behind him wanting to help people? What's behind that, by the way, man? Like you say you want to be able to help people. Like, why? Oh, you know, this and this, these reasons. Okay. And for you to actually achieve that, to be able to do that, like, what would that mean to you to be able to make that happen? That would mean everything, blah, 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 blah. And then hone in on the family. Like this guy's mentioned, he's got a kid and a wife, right? Family is everything to everyone, right? People do things for their family, right? They care for their family. They'll do anything for them, right? So we need to find out more about that. Like, how's life going to be for his family? What's it going to be like for him as a father, being able to help his child, make this money, see his wife more? You know, not feel like he's on this constant grind, like you mentioned earlier. Like, there's a lot of things we can speak about here, which Jed didn't, and we can really uncover those things, and push in and really get him to sit in that feeling of achieving those goals, which we didn't here. It was too surface level, right? And now he's going to go into the cost of inaction. But yeah, there's definitely more things we could figure out. There's more things to know. Right. And there's different reframes, different things you can do here. You know, one of the reframes that I really like is the deathbed perspective. So getting people to realize, saying to them, look, RJ, like, I appreciate what you're saying. And look, obviously helping people is amazing. And on that, you know, one of the perspectives that I like to take is the deathbed perspective. You know, you and me, you know, shocker, we're both going to die at some point in our lives. Now, when we're on our deathbed, look, we're not really going to care about our businesses, the money we make, right? The things we're going to care about is, one, the people we've helped, like you mentioned, but also, you know, the memories that we've made with the people that we love, you know, your family and your daughter and, you know, maybe future kids that you might have. So for you, like, you're making 10K a month and you're not on this constant grind, like you mentioned earlier. You know, you can spend more time with your family. Like, what are some of the memories that you're going to be able to make with your family that you currently can't make now due to that grind? Great. What a question, because you're then going to get him to really sit in, okay, I'm on my deathbed. What am I going to care about? The emotion comes out. He really sits in that pain. Not pain, sits in like the future of achieving this goal. That's what we want. So this is a bit too surface level from Jed.
You know, get you to that level. You know, we've got everything in place to get you to that level. But, you know, on the flip side, like, you know, it could not happen, right? Yeah. You know, you don't have to do anything. We don't have to speak anymore, and you don't have to take any steps to reaching your goals. I guess if, say, in like 6 months' time or a year's time, you know, you haven't done anything and you're still working in the same job, not spending as much time with your family, not getting that potential of the financial side that you want. Like if that becomes a reality, like what happens then?
Like, to be honest, if that happens, then from like now 6 months and I'm still doing this, I probably just genuinely don't want it. That'd make me lose a lot of self-esteem about myself, actually, because I don't like lying to myself. So when I told myself I'm gonna hop on this call and just take action, I have to do this. I literally have to do this. Because if I don't, I feel more shitty about myself, and I lie to myself. And it takes a lot more to believe in myself. You know what I mean?
So you're in that like mindset now that you've made the change.
Yeah, I have to. Because if I don't, then I'm giving up on myself, and then it's like lying to yourself. And then when you tell yourself again, it's like you lied to yourself. Why are we gonna do it now? I just don't like doing that. So I'm like, I'm set now, so I'm gonna do it now. All right.
Yeah, and that
This is all green flags. This is good things that he's saying. Look, I have to do this. I have to do this. This is good. But still, we want to sit on this a little bit more. But what I would say from here is, and look, I don't mean to put you on the spot with that question, but like, if that actually becomes a reality in 6 months' time and you do just lie to yourself, like, is that something you want to settle for realistically? How would that actually make you feel? Like, get him to sit in that pain, sit in it, right? Really linger in it. Right? That's what I would ask.
why now? Like why not in 6 months?
Probably because
See, the problem with that is like, why now? What in 6 months? There's not enough conviction behind it. What I would say there is like, and why? Like, why not? Why now though? Because look, man, you don't have to do anything. You could just wait another 6 months and just continue to put things off, continue to be fearful. Why not just do that? Lean out, and he's then going to lean in. No, I have to do something now. I have to do it. I have to do it for my family. I can't lie to myself. That's what we want. So that question there is just a little bit too weak from Jed. It's the right idea, but it's a bit weak.
I'm like, I guess I'm not too aware, but I feel like I see it every day. I see it all the time. I can't even sit on my phone and doom scroll because I just see people making lots of money, and it genuinely kind of eats me up that like there's people out here doing that every single day, and I have to get up and work hard just to make a fraction of what they're making, So I think that's why I can't wait another 6 months to do it. I think that's why I'm doing it now,
Kind of had enough of seeing what's out there and you not doing it yourself. Cool. All right, man. Well, look, I'm going to sort of jump into like what the program offers.
Okay, that's the end of Discovery. So what I would rate Jed's Discovery, I've seen better calls from Jed, 100%. I think a few things to mention. Wasn't the best prospect for sure. He was quite reserved. He didn't really go into a lot of details about his pain. He didn't really open up a lot. But Jed could have done more, 100%. He could have asked better questions. He could have probed more. So I'd give this call, for Jed's sort of standard, I'd give him like a 6 out of 10. The key bits of improvement: not enough pain. He did not dive into enough pain about his current situation and why he wants to make a change. And usually that's something Jed's pretty good at. The accountability was a bit soft. As I said, he was a bit of a pussy. He should have been more convicted, asked the questions, really got RJ to realize that like the fear of being scammed is the reason why he hasn't achieved his goals yet. The future pace, again, a bit too vague for my liking, and the cost of inaction was good, got good answers, but I'd probably sit in it a little bit longer. But look, overall, not bad. But yeah, let's see where it goes from here. I'm pretty sure this guy doesn't close.
You can sort of break the payment down to like a payment plan, which is like $500 today and then $500 for the next 2 weeks for a total of $3,000. So it'd be 6 weeks, $500 each time. Or you can do like the full amount of $2,000. Which one sort of would work best for you?
Personally, I don't like offering payment plans straight away, but I've already spoken to Jed about this, and it's something that his offer owners want him to do. But personally, I would never offer payment plans. The only reason why it's kind of okay to offer payment plans here is because the payment plan has interest, so it's more expensive. It basically incentivizes the client to pay everything up front.
Probably the $500 plan.
Yeah. Do you want me to get the link set up for you? So it'd be $500 and then it sort of takes it sort of bi-weekly. Does that work?
Yeah, I could do that. But could I be able to pay tomorrow?
Yeah. I mean, is it like think about it tomorrow in particular, or?
I just definitely would have to talk to. I'm going to talk to my girlfriend and stuff because I'm spending a lot of money for this, so just want to go over it with her.
Sure. And just sort of about that in terms of sort of your girlfriend. What's her name, by the way?
Gabriella.
Gabriella. It's a nice name. I mean, so Gabriella to decide at the moment, like, do you feel like this is something you are interested in and can help you get towards your goals?
Yeah, I think so. Yeah.
And do you feel like obviously if you spoke to Gabriella and she told you that you couldn't do it, like do you feel like you would?
Okay, so first things you always want to do when you get a partner objection is kind of what Jed did here, but he didn't deliver on it super well, is you want to put the partner aside. So firstly, humanize, right? What's her name? Great thing to ask. Gabriella. Okay, cool. So Gabriella to the side for a second. Based on our conversation today, based off everything that we've spoken about, do you, in your own opinion, genuinely feel like what we do here at X company can help you get to a point where you can make 10K per month? Super important question to ask that. Right. So from here, Jed kind of asked it not very well. He should have asked that, and then he would have said yes or maybe, or I don't know, I think so. You know, the guy said, I think so. That's not a very strong answer. It's like, okay, what do you mean you think so? You don't sound very convinced, RJ. Tell me, what are you unsure about? We need to uncover what he's unsure about so we can get the real objection here.
Still do it then, or?
I'm gonna be real. Yeah, I'm probably still gonna do it, but I just have to tell her about it. She's very skeptical on things, but once I talk to her about it, everything's okay. But
okay, so he said that Jed asked him if he went and spoke to his wife and she said no, would he still do it? And he said he would, which means that this isn't a real objection. Because if he would do it anyway, then why does he need to speak with his wife? Because like there's no reason for that. It just doesn't make any sense. It's just a waste of time. So yeah, let's see where Jed takes it.
My question is, when I pay this to I guess it's not a question. Never mind. It's not a question.
Sure. Got no question.
When I pay this $2,000, right?
I was watched everything, set all the systems up, and then you start outreaching. Like the guarantee is, if you are committed, like man to man.
Most definitely, probably the money thing, because I've never done an internet thing. So 2,000 is a lot.
I know you said that if you spoke to her and she said no, you'd still like go for it and do it. You know, is there like maybe like another reason that you're like a little bit hesitant to get going with things? Like, is it sort of like the money side? Are you just a bit fearful because it's like your first thing online, like man to man?
Most definitely.
I like that from Jed. That's good because it humanizes it a bit more. It's like, all right, man. So look, if you went and if you said you would do it anyway after speaking with your partner, like, come on, like, what are you really unsure about? Like, man to man here, off the record, like, what are you unsure of? Is it the money, right? And Jed's brought up the money because now he needs to basically when you get objections, you want to funnel your objections down. So when someone gives you a partner objection, a lot of the time it's bullshit and it's something completely different. I have a funny feeling that this guy just doesn't have enough money to do it. And he's saying that he needs to speak with his partner. So what Jed's done there is he said to him, is it the money? And this guy's now going to say, yeah, you know, it is quite a lot of money. So now what I want Jed to do is figure out whether the guy genuinely logistically just doesn't have the money to do this, or whether the guy does have the money, but he's just a bit scared. One of those two options, but we need to understand which option it is. Because if he just doesn't have the money and we're just trying to handle his fear objection, it's pointless, right? So we need to understand, okay, does this guy have the money or not? Which I hope Jed's going to do now.
Probably the money thing, because I've never done an internet thing. So 2,000 is a lot of money. And my friend, he bought a course for 2,000 like a year ago, and he didn't get ripped off, but he basically told him nothing. Like, it was just a bunch of stuff that we could look on YouTube. You know what I mean?
Again, the guy's fearful. Like, he's talking about his mate who bought another random course for $2,000. Like, is this course anything to do with us or to do with Jed? No. So that's a whole nother objection that Jed can handle. But again, before I wouldn't even dive into that yet. Before I do any of that, I need to figure out what is this guy's financial situation. Can he even do this? And like, how would we be able to split the payments up to help him?
So I'm not really skeptical. I guess it's just like, it's definitely a big jump, 2,000 for course. But what everything I'm looking at, I guess it's not really a big risk either. Because everything you're showing me, it's me.
Yeah, because I guess obviously for you going from where you are now to say making 20K a month, and being able to help out your family and your friends, would you say that's quite a big jump from where you are now?
Yeah.
So
great question, Jed.
And obviously, like the jump from that $2,000 is quite small relative, obviously, to that big jump in. Being able to get to that point of making 20,000 a month, being able to help out your friends, your family, it's going to take something big. It's not something that's going to happen overnight, in that you can, learn yourself. Like the best things, you do obviously require like investments. Like I said, I've invested in like 3 or 4 courses myself to better myself, sales, marketing, everything. So, I can understand completely that it's scary to begin with, because believe you me, I still get scared when you're looking to invest that amount of money. The thing is, money comes and goes, right? You're working like
So Jed's trying to handle the fear here. What I would do first is handle the money. Because again, you can do all the reframes, you can like get someone out of their own way as much as you want, but if they just don't have the money to do it, then all of that's pointless. So what I would do is figure out, okay, and in terms of those finances, like where are you at with it? Like, is it a case that you have the money, you're just a bit unsure, or is it a case that you just don't have the full upfront money, upfront amount? Either one is completely okay. I just don't have the full upfront amount. Okay, well, are you open to having an open conversation about your finances so we can figure out a way we can make this work? And then just honing in and trying to figure out a plan.
You're always going to have money and a roof over your head, but there's a chance that if you go for something, you're going to make something better from that, right? It's not like you're paying $2,000 for like a designer jumper and you're never going to see a return on investment on that. You are someone who's committed. You're going to pay this money to better yourself in your future. And realistically, man to man, I speak to a lot of people. You going away and thinking about it, probably just going to eat yourself up with doubt, right? And you're going to put yourself off. Your friends can be like, oh, it's make you skeptical, and you probably never end up doing anything online. And I guess my question to you would be like, do you want to be in the same position where nothing changes, you stay skeptical and hesitant about everything, and you stay where you are and you don't ever reach your goals? Or do you want to take the chance with something that you believe in can make you reach your goals, for like a small investment that is ultimately going to tenfold in 6 months when you put in that commitment?
I think I don't want to be like that, stuck in the same spot. So I think that's why I'm going to take this risk, no matter what my girlfriend says or the people around me saying, because I already know I'm probably going to hear it from my parents saying like, "Oh, you dropped $2,000." But I think I do need to take this risk because I don't want to be in the same position. I'm obviously on this call and stuff, so I knew there was going to be a risk. I knew there was going to be something, so I think I'm willing to take it, whether or not I lose out or anything. I need to take that risk to get it.
So, do you want to go with the sort of full 2,000 investment, or did you want to do the 3,000 the split over the sort of like bi-weekly?
So it's 2,000 up front and then 3,000 bi-weekly.
No. So you can either pay $2,000 in full.
Okay.
So it's kind of like up to you what you want to do.
I'd probably pay the full $2,000, but I need to get some more money for that. I'm definitely gonna buy this. Just a matter of when I can get that money.
Yeah. I mean, how much you say you sort of realistically have sort of available? Because go on.
Probably available, probably just like $1,000 maybe.
So this conversation should have happened first, in my opinion.
Sure.
Yeah, probably $1,000.
If I mean, I don't normally do this because, like I said, it's the 2,000 like upfront. That's the price because you're paying upfront. You get the it's cheaper. If I was able to split that 2,000 into 2 payments for you, so say like 1,000 today and then 1,000 in like a month or the next 2 weeks whenever you get paid, like would that work out for you better? And you can get started on everything. You'll get all the access to the program and obviously all the calls that we've got as well.
That sounds really good, but I don't think I can do that.
No?
I don't think so. No, I don't think I can.
Again, is it just like that bit fearful, or do you need that money for something? Or?
So again, this is where that question's really going to come in handy. Like, is it a case that you have the money, you're just a bit unsure? Is it a case that you don't have the money at all? Like, either one's completely okay. And then from there, we can really do what's called an open wallet test and just get him to walk us through his financial situation, how much he has in savings, how much he's making a month, so we can then get a plan in place to do a payment plan. That's what's missing here.
I just have like money on hand just in case if I need anything for right now.
Sure. Got you, man. So you definitely want to go with the 2,000 pay in full, and obviously we can back up, or obviously we started today with like the lesser payment of the payment plan, if that works.
Yeah, no, I think I'm gonna do the 2,000 full.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, when would be? God, what were you gonna say?
How would I go? Like, say I get like the money in like 2 weeks. How would I tell you I'm ready to pay for it?
Yeah. So what I'll do, I'll drop you my email here.
Okay, so in my opinion, Jed's given up a little bit too soon here. What should have happened is an open wallet test. Like I said earlier, it's the case of, okay, so again, are you open to having an open conversation about your financial situation so that we can actually get a game plan in place to see how we can get you started now, working towards XYZ goal as quickly as possible? Because it's bullshit. The guy's like, oh, I'd rather just wait for the 2K. Bullshit. He needs to start now. right? There's no reason why I wouldn't want to start now. And it's reframing that whole mindset of like, what do you think is better? Perfect action or imperfect action? Is it better to wait till you're 100% ready in a month's time, or is it better to start now and in a month's time you could be 20% of the way there? Obviously, the second is better. So we need to reframe that. We need to get some sort of financial investment down to get this guy started. But we can't do that unless we know how much money he has and how much he has in savings. So that's really what's missing there. We need to do what's known as an open wallet test. So yeah, ultimately, Jed didn't end up closing this call. I'm not sure where this guy's at. He's probably still in the pipeline. I feel like this is definitely still a warm lead who could definitely close. But yeah, as I said, Discover I've already touched on. Objection handling, needed to really discover the money, the financials, where he's at, how much he's saving, how much he's making. So then we can then get a plan in place for this guy to get going. But yeah, that's everything. Hopefully that was useful for someone watching. Jed's definitely improved a lot. He's still doing well. This is a decent offer. I'm not sure how much he's making from it at the moment. But yeah, a good amount of money. So yeah, hopefully that was useful to anyone watching. If you have any questions about this, drop a comment, DM me. Also, if you liked it, subscribe. If you want me to make other videos similar to this, more than happy to. I actually really enjoy these types of videos. But yeah, hopefully that was useful. And yeah, if you want to figure out how you can work with me like Jed is, there's a video in the link in the description. Click on that. That will run you through what high ticket sales is. And then you could book in a one-on-one call with me to see if you'd be a good fit for my program. Hopefully that was useful. And I will speak to you guys in the next one. Cheers.